When we put Lake Seminole in Bainbridge, Georgia on the map, I think everybody was really excited. And early season tournaments can be challenging, a lot of weather changing. This area has been decimated by a hurricane and a lot of obstacles in the water, changing the way the fishery sets up. But the anglers didn't care. They signed up early and often for this one, and we ended up having our biggest tournament to date. 445 fish so far and counting. We had our best one-day limit ever, 101 and a half in the first hour. Lots of fish over 21, a tie for big bass at 22 3/4. The top 13 that are going to get paid today, they earned it. 3 anglers are qualified for our Tournament of Champions, and overall, I mean, we just had a good time. We had anglers fly out from California. People just wanted to be a part of this. And we couldn't thank the anglers enough for supporting what we're doing for them and showing out. It's been a lot of fun, and this is only the first of 9. So we look forward to seeing you all at all the rest of the tournaments and having a great 2020. Yeah, welcome in everybody. That was a little reminder of last year. We started our season in Bainbridge, Georgia on Lake Seminole, and we are just about to get started with our next season back in Bainbridge. And I don't know about you all, but that video kind of got me hyped up. This is going to be an exciting start to our season again. But before we dive into some specifics on Lake Seminole, we're going to rewind it back a little bit. It is a new year. There is some new things going on for the Hobie BOS, and we want you all to be aware. First, some of you guys saw this guy over here next to me, Steve Fields, on a few of these podcasts last year. Steve comes from Australia and has done tremendous things in their tournament world. And we're really looking forward to bringing Steve on in a more advanced role with our team. We really appreciate what Kevin's done the last couple of years. He's no longer going to be with us, but we're happy to have Steve. And as you can kind of see with this podcast and what we're doing with HobieBOS.com, he's already made a big impact on how we can continue to feed stuff to you guys and make sure you are as prepared as possible for success on the water in a Hobie Bass Open Series event. So with that, Steve is new. Steve, are you with us? You want to say hi to everybody?
Yeah, this is good. I'm pretty excited to obviously be over here in the United States. Moved back here in October last year and ran the Hobie 16 Worlds, the 22nd Hobie 16 Worlds out of west coast of Florida at Captiva and the beaches of Fort Myers or that area. Tickled a little bit with you guys last year at the Costa Round and had a great time, and just trying to take some of my skill sets of trying to present what I think is a fantastic, one of the top tournaments in the world that's the Hobie Bass Open Series. I mean, I'm excited to be back in my home country. Here in Florida, I'm used to seeing bass, and I tell you what, I just can't wait to capture some of the footage of these guys catching fish and then working alongside you to do what we can, as you said, to bring anglers and sponsors what they want and the kind of broadcast that we're trying to do here and make this a very, very fun year for all of us.
Absolutely. I know I'm excited. You're excited, and that's one of the big things about this year. One of the things that we're wanting to do is to, showcase what you guys are doing on the water a little bit better. Steve's going to be out there in media boats. We're going to be working with one of our great sponsors, Tacticam, to make sure that we're going to be showcasing what goes on the water in a kayak fishing tournament. So now we have a platform, the Hobie Bass Open or HobieBOS.com, and that's going to be your one-stop shop for everything Hobie BOS. It's taken us a little bit to get that going, but we have it thanks to Steve and his staff. We've got it ready to roll for our 3rd season. And with that, just thank you guys for the patience that you all have had with us as we've, kind of trickled information out. Part of that was wanting to make sure that we wanted to have the website ready to go. And anytime you have a transition of staff and roles, it takes a little bit longer to get things done, but you guys have been amazing. We knew you were excited. The TOC was, seems like it was just yesterday. And you all have been patient through this as we've gotten everything lined up and together. And we're going to go through some of that here now. So first off, we'll just dive into the website, hobiebos.com. It is going to be your first stop, your number one resource. When you pull it up, it's got that orange and black, that logo that you are familiar, how you know you're at the right place. But what it's got on the home page, it's got all of our upcoming events. Right now, all of the information for our first 3 is loaded into those. And what you can see there is each individual event, the day the actual tournament starts. If it has the enter button on it, that means that it is eligible for registration through TourneyX, and you can just click on that button and get right in there. If it says read more, that's going to mean that it just has some information on the event, and some of those events after Broken Bow haven't completely been filled out yet. We're still finalizing some of the finer details with our great host communities. We want to make sure that once we put all the information out there, you guys have it and it doesn't have to change. So all 3 of those events are ready to go. Registration's open. People are being registered in all of them. But Seminole is the first one on the list. When you click on that event and you go down, it kind of shows you a nice map of the lake and kind of the surroundings. It's a great starting place anytime that you're gonna start looking at your map. You've got the event info and write-up and some details there. Then you've got the waivers that you're going to have to sign and take care of before each event. And then you've got the specific details, the hours of the tournament, the deadlines, and we start with the no guide rule. And so we just want you to know what those dates are and make sure that you're within all of our specific rules for each event. Also within that page, there is a link for the rules. So if you've made it into this event and you're wanting to see, okay, now I'm here, I want to see where the rules are, it's right there. If you haven't checked out our handbook yet, which we're going to look at here in a little bit, it's also in the event. So tons of information in each event. And then from that event, you can go right into TourneyX and get registered. We've also got Watts Bar coming up. So we're going to go into Watts Bar. I want to talk to you all a little bit about Watts Bar. That's our second event. It's 2 weeks after Lake Seminole. But we have a great deal with Knoxville, Tennessee. They've got a special host hotel for us. They're going to be holding that for us until February 12th. So we've got a block of rooms available. And after February 12th, it goes away. We'd really love to show them support for, them supporting us and have as many of our anglers stay with us at the official hotel of the Hobie BOS in Knoxville. And, just so you know, when you look at a map, Knoxville is kind of central to a lot of lakes. Watts Bar is going to be kind of the one that's a little south, a little west, but it's got great access from where we're staying in Knoxville. And some of the furthest up boundaries up the rivers are actually really close to our host. So it's definitely something that you should definitely check out that hotel before you book somewhere else. And it's always good to book sooner than later on these events, especially when you have a deal like that through a really, really nice hotel, the Staybridge Suites in Knoxville, West Knoxville. It's close to everything you need. Close to the interstate. It's going to be close to our Friday night meetings and check-in, and then it's also going to be the host of our Sunday night award ceremony. So if you stay there, you don't have much to worry about as far as road time. Then with Broken Bow, it's our first visit into Oklahoma. We're really excited. We've got all the event information there. All of those guys in that region are super excited about it. All the guys that haven't been to that lake before are like, man, where are all the ramps? There's not that many ramps on Broken Bow, but you can access that whole lake and you can really spread out. But the other thing is this is a place that has so many great cabins, so many places to stay. We have all the links posted on that site. So if you are having trouble finding a place to stay, just come into the Hobie BOS. We're always going to have a link to our local tourism bureau that's going to have a lot of information for you, and we're going to have those places to stay to help you narrow down your search and eliminate some of the work that you have to do in preparing for one of our events. If you've not looked at some of these cabins, they have immaculate cabins. Get a few friends together, go and stay in one of these great vacation cabins. If cabin's not your style, there's some hotel options. But all of this is coming up pretty soon. Go ahead, get registered for your lodging. That's something you have until the Wednesday before the event to register for the tournament. But lodging changes every day. There's people making their plans, going ahead and getting things booked. The sooner you get on that, the sooner you can secure your place to stay. Now, the BOS page, HobieBOS.com page is a great place for all of that stuff. If you still have questions, if you want to communicate, that is really a great place for the Hobie BOS Facebook group page. We're still going to be feeding a lot of information through there. It's still a place where you can make a post. Sometimes those don't get approved as soon as you all post them. I'm working on trying to approve those a little quicker if they're time sensitive, but that is a great place for conversation, questions, and things like that. But all of your resources for our event are going to be on HobieBOS.com, and we can't wait to continue to evolve this site and get more stuff in it for you guys. And it's going to just get better as the season goes along, and we got some things in store, so it'll be good to go. So, all right, we've got the opportunity to jump on into looking at the handbook. It looks like Steve's power just went out. Are we still live? Let's see. Did we? Hey, Steve. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Are we still live?
Good afternoon. We're not sure if we're live or not. We just had a power outage here in Alachua County, and we're seeing if we can get some backup power. So if you can just bear with us for a second, we'll be right back. Thank you. You there, AJ?
All right.
It's saying it's live, so we've got some people. So go for it.
All right, guys. So we just wrapped up the HobieBOS.com, and we knocked out the power in Steve's house because the website's so badass. So, we'll just move right along. So when you're at the HobieBOS.com, we've got our 2021 handbook in the upper right-hand corner, and you just need to click on that, and that pretty much is your guide to all things that the Hobie BOS is offering this year. Now, one of the biggest things that we wanted to do is not change very much from 2020 to 2021. We had a lot of positive feedback from this season. There's a lot of things that change every year in fishing and kayak fishing, but we wanted to give you guys some consistency. And when you click on the Hobie BOS handbook, it's going to run you through all of those things. So the very first thing in the handbook, as you roll through, our presenting sponsor, PowerPole. We couldn't do this stuff without those guys. They have an amazing product. It integrates with our kayaks so amazingly well. It can be a huge accessory and a savior on the water. Make sure you check out PowerPole. Then we've got our 2021 schedule. That's your guide to every time you're going to want to come see us this year. All the different venues and places all over the country. We talked about the first three. Then we get to revisit Lake Dardanelle in April. We get to make our first stop on Lake Hartwell in Anderson, South Carolina in May. Big Bass Factory, one of the top fisheries in the entire country, Lake Sam Rayburn in early June.
I'm looking forward to that one. I've heard a lot of good stories about that place.
Oh, absolutely. That place, when it comes out top 5 on Bass's list every year, it's saying a lot. Really excited to bring a kayak tournament on a national scale to that fishery and to see what our anglers can do. Then we go way up northeast to our friends in the Northeast, Lake Champlain. That is a huge lake, a lot of different opportunities out there. We are really excited to see what the Northeast can do in our series for our first one up there. Right after that, we're going to revisit the Susquehanna River, Harrisburg, PA. And that is just a shallow, swift water fishery with a lot of big, angry, mean smallmouth. And it might have been, for our anglers last year, one of the most fun events. We threw it together in 3 weeks, had over 110 anglers. I think it was 116. And you guys showed out. Mike Iaconelli came and fished with us, got last place money. He's been talking some trash on his show. He can't wait to get back and compete against you guys. You all motivated him because of your commitment and excitement to this sport, and he's excited to have an opportunity to fish with you again. Then another river system, another event from last year, we go to the Mississippi River, La Crosse, Wisconsin. Every time you go to that place, it's different than the time before. And that is one of my favorite things about that fishery. La Crosse, Wisconsin is beautiful. It is a great place to go. It should be really pristine weather that time of year, and the bite should start to be getting really good. Then after that, Tennessee River Chain on Lake Pickwick. It's one of the few places on the Tennessee River Chain that we haven't visited. It's known for some amazing smallmouth, good largemouth, a ledge bite. It's a unique fishery. Looking forward to seeing what our anglers are going to do, and that closes out our 10 events. Then this year we had the 3-day Lake Eufaula Tournament of Champions in Eufaula, Alabama. That tournament is 3 days for everybody. The cut has already happened. 50 anglers are going to fish. You're going to put your totals up for 3 days. A lot of our anglers are going to be fishing for Angler of the Year points, and so we're taking your best. Your 3 days is what it's all about, to see who is crowned the champion of that event, who falls in the ranks for Angler of the Year. So there will be no cut. Everybody's thinking there's a cut. We have all 50 anglers fishing all 3 days. We want to see what our best can do on that fishery, and it's a 3-day tournament. It's going to be one of the first 3-day tournaments without a cut, I think, that our sport has seen. So it's going to be really interesting to see what our anglers are going to do. And we'll talk about some other details of the Tournament Champions here as we scroll through the handbook.
Now it's time for Show Me the Money.
That's right. So as you guys saw, we increased the entry fee to $260 this year. What we were able to do with that is we were able to add $10 per angler into the payout for that event. We had to add a few dollars per angler into the TOC. And as our administrative costs continue to go up, we were able to help offset that a little bit with the PayPal fees through the higher entry and TourneyX and all of that stuff. We are always going to do our best to make sure that you guys are getting paid more as those entry fees go up. That is our goal, is to continue to put more money in your all's pockets through this series. Our events are capped at 200 anglers. We've never hit that cap. We got 155 at Lake Fork last year, and that is our current record. So we've got 10 amazing places. We can't wait to see what our numbers look like this year. If we are over 100, which we averaged over 100 last year, you can see what the 100 angler pay scale is there. We've got the 150 angler pay scale and the 200 angler pay scale all lined out there for you. Something you notice on that pay scale this year is there is a $400 Bassin Big Bass side pot.
Well done, Bassin. Well done.
Yeah. We'll talk about Bassin here in just a little bit, but we had some, variables last year with that sponsorship. This year we locked it into $400. You guys don't pay anything into the Big Bass pot. Bassin's covering that to make sure that we have a big bass that we get to showcase for our biggest bass caught in the tournament for those 2 days. So check out that. And then, just so you guys know, that is the published scale for those numbers. Every time we have another angler enter, it changes our scale. We've got a formula. We have an Excel file that we use, and pretty much once we hit 101, then we add another place to our payments. So anything 101 to 109 is going to pay out 11 anglers, and then once we hit 110. It'll stay at 11 anglers, and then 111 will go to 12 anglers. So that is kind of how that works. We have a great pay scale. We seem to make sure that we get paid out through all the way through the places, and we're going to have people holding some pretty big checks all season long. So we can't wait for that.
Hey, Jay, what do you think the top 3 places that are going to produce the biggest fields of this amazing calendar for 2021? What do you think the top 3 are for getting the biggest numbers this year?
Man, I think that's, there's a lot of comments coming in, and there's some people saying stuff, and there's been a lot of trash talk from different regions of the country. I've got a weird feeling that one of these first 3 events is going to be by far our biggest event. It's really tough. There's the first event has always a strong showing. People are so excited.
I think 125 was last year for Seminole or thereabouts. Yes.
Yeah, it was. And, that was actually our 3rd highest last year for Seminole. And there's a big event going down in Kissimmee. And I know a lot of those anglers are going to plan on coming up after they fish the KBF event to fish with us. So we have over 80 signed up already, a week left to register. Can't wait to see what that number is. If I was going to guess, though, on those first 3, which one's going to be the biggest out of those, I've just got this sneaky suspicion that Broken Bow is going to be absolutely huge. I know Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, those guys are all so close. They're going to show out. But I think the region is going to really fill up for that. I think we'll see a lot of guys from the central part of the country, and some folks coming from New Mexico and Colorado and that area out there. But that's not to say I think both Watts Bar and Lake Seminole are going to be really strong for us. But Lake Fork was our biggest last year at end of February, and so we're going 2 hours away to a lake that's known for big bass and beautiful scenery. So we're really appealing to that same group again with that event. And I just think they're going to show out really big. Now, overall for the season, I think Lake Hartwell is going to show out really strong. The Queen City Kayak Bass Fishing Club is going to show out big for us there. A lot of their guys fished with us last year on Lake Norman. So I think that that's going to be a big event. A lot of people can get to that event where it's located kind of in that corner of South Carolina and Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina can all really reach that event in May on that lake. It's people are going to want to be there. It's going to have a really good showing. And finally, our third probably biggest event, I think, one of either Champlain or the Susquehanna, because I know, and everybody watching knows, that those guys in the Northeast, they bring it. They've been wanting to bring it, and I think that one of those two events is going to let the kayak fishing world know that the Northeast is here to bring big numbers in and showcase some fisheries that other entities haven't been able to visit as much. So we're excited for all that. So there, if I had to say it, I think Broken Bow, Hartwell, and let's just call it Lake Champlain are going to be our biggest three. That's my guess. But we'll revisit that and see how it goes.
That sounds good. My top two are Rayburn and Hartwell. I think Rayburn, with the number of anglers that are access to Texas, is just going to be enormous. So it'll be interesting to see what happens for the rest of the year. But I tell you what, we're easily going to crack 100 at most rounds, and I'm looking forward to it for sure.
Well, with that, going from the most participants to the biggest payout. So what we've done this year is we are advertising our payout for the Tournament of Champions. If we average 120 anglers per event, we are going to pay out $75,000, and that is what the payout looks like. That's a first place of $35,000, a second place of $10,000. You can see it all the way down. We are going to continue, as you guys continue to show out for us. We're going to continue to make sure that these events are growing in what they're paying out. And, we didn't change anything about how you qualify for the Tournament of Champions. It's essentially the same as it was last year, less the shootout. We did get rid of the shootout. I heard the other night Ike was counting that opportunity, but he's not going to have that. If he wants to qualify this year, he's going to have to either finish top 3 in one of our open events, or he's going to have to finish in the top 19 in Angler of the Year points. And once again, we will take that spot to a non-qualified person. So if, Ryan Lambert is the only person that's qualified for Lake Eufaula because he absolutely kicked tail on, in Knoxville at the TOC last year. Well, if he shows out at Seminole, gets second, third place, we're going to have another angler go ahead and punch their ticket. So we will take 3 from every event, and we will take 19 in the Angler of the Year race. It doesn't really matter where you're at. We will take the top 3. So some people call it, roll downs or whatever. But that's how our formula works. We take the top 3 of every that are unqualified at every event in the top 19 in our Angler of the Year race. Last year, I think that ended up in like the 35th spot. So, as you're kind of looking and evaluating, that's kind of what it's going to take. You're probably going to need to be in the top 30 to, top 35 to get in. And that's another thing. A lot of people didn't realize what not fishing on a day 2 or leaving early or maybe not getting one more bite did to their score. And it's hard to see how that affects your overall score at the end of the year in the moment. But when you look at those 6 people that didn't make it and what they could have done or what they were short of getting in, I think that helped a lot of people see that you just need to grind all day. You're not just fishing for that moment. You're fishing for points. When you're fishing for points, you have to have a big picture mindset and stay longer on Sunday, grind it out. That one more fish might help you jump 5-10 places. That's 5 or 10 points, and 5 or 10 points for about 7 people would have had them in the TOC last year. So now that we know, now that we've seen what points can do, how tight these races are, I think people are going to have that different mindset moving into this year.
That's a really fascinating paycheck that someone's going to take. I think Ryan took out $30,000 last year, and to top it off here in 21, with 35,000. I mean, that's some serious lunch money.
Absolutely, it is. One of the other changes for the Tournament of Champions is there's going to be a long off limits period. We don't have any off limits periods for our opens, but this event pretty much starting on October 1st, going through till the Monday before, it's off limits. You can't get on it. You can't. It's just you can't. It's something we're wanted to kind of change this year. So really tighten that up. We're gonna have an official practice period, and everybody's gonna be able to get out there on the first day that it opens up. I believe it's 4 days that they'll have to pre-fish before they get to fish it for 3 days. Definitely a new dynamic, and we're definitely looking forward to seeing how that works out.
Sounds good, AJ. We've had a question come in, but some of the viewers answered for it. And likewise, again, these questions on here, we can table them now, but they're also on the website at hobiebos.com under handbook and rules. So everything is really transparent to all the people who are trying to take and make that tournament champions and take home those top prizes in the top 10.
I think the question was for Angler of the Year, and when you scroll and right to the next page, it's the Angler of the Year presented by Far Wide. That is the Outdoor Access app. We've pumped it up. There's been some people that are pumping it up. If you're not using Far Wide, it's a free app. Go ahead and check it out. It shows you so much. It is like after you get done with hobiebos.com as you're preparing for an event, go to the Far Wide app. Look at all of those launches, all of those places. That is your access app. It's going to be an amazing resource for you guys this year. It's going to be great for me. If you're wondering what a public access spot is, go to the Far Wide app, because that's what I'm going to look at. That is our absolute, resource for this year. We can't wait to continue to utilize that resource and, use it on your home fisheries as well. It's full of great information, and we can't wait to show you more about that app throughout the season. But yes, 3 events is what we will take your best score from. And then we add the Tournament of Champions score, which is a slightly different point scale into it. So it's really an angler's best 4 events, but one of those events has to be the Tournament of Champions. You can fish as many events as you want. We will keep record of your best 3 and get rid of all of the others. It gets pretty tight up there at the top. We had 2 guys that won 2 events last year. We didn't change the point scale. And so the only thing that we did is I adjusted our bonus points, which actually are really designed to break ties. If we have similar scores, you get a 3/10 bonus for the largest limit each day, and a 10th bonus for the largest bass each day. So 2 people will be getting bonuses each day for different things. And when you look at the scores last year, you can kind of see how that actually came into play for some of our anglers. That actually was the tiebreaker between Jody and Russ for most of the year, because Russ had some largest limits and some big fish, and Jody just had this consistency in those events. So he didn't have any of those bonus points, and that really made an impact in their race through that, and it changed our outcomes for a few places throughout the year as well. So as we scroll down, we've got 2 Hobie prize kayaks that we're going to be giving away this year. The Hobie Pro Angler 360 with Mirage Drive, that custom orange and black that is just so good looking. That boat is going back to our Angler of the Year race for the winner. They're going to go home with that boat. Now, last year we gave away a 2020 Hobie Mirage Outback with that same color scheme, and that was a lot of fun. We have something else up our sleeves. We're going to show it to you a little bit later this year, but that doesn't mean that you're not still earning a chance to win this kayak that we've got up our sleeves. So everybody that enters one of our events has a chance from that event. So if you fish 5 events with us, you'll have 5 different chances to win this kayak. It is a random draw that we will do during the Tournament of Champions, and then we will figure out how to get that boat to you after you've won, whether it's me delivering it personally or one of the anglers from your area bringing it home from that event. It's an awesome prize. We will have it with us at a few events this year, and we will make sure that we promote it and showcase it once we can. So more on that later. As you scroll down a little bit further, also big thanks to Bass and Big Bass for stepping up huge.
Big hats off to those boys. Big hats off.
The biggest thing for us with our sponsors is, obviously we want exposure, but we also want to give back to them and their companies. How you give back to Bassin, sign up for a subscription. Those guys share our story. They share our events. They share fishing to so many homes all over the country and further than that. And, it could be a great gift for somebody or, one into your house, but make sure you sign up, subscribe to Bassin Magazine. We love their support. We love Brad Ewell. We can't wait to see him fishing with us again this year. And, that's an extra $400 bonus at every event, and then a $1,000 big bass at the Tournament of Champions on Lake Eufaula.
That's some good money there for somebody that may not win the tournament, but they can get big bass and go home with a nice payday to make the pain go away.
So the Hobie Fishing Worlds, obviously right now it's got a little bit of a kind of a hold on for everything that we're dealing with COVID. We're so fortunate that we can still travel and participate in our competitions, but international travel in some countries things are just different. The logistics of that event where we send, a rigged Hobie kayak to different places across the country to get you guys on the water in identical boats. All of these variables right now in this climate have just made this event a little challenging, but it's still going to happen. And we're still qualifying people for more Worlds events. And this year we have 4 qualifiers. So the top 3 Angler of the Year will qualify for the Hobie Fishing Worlds. Hopefully I'll remember that when I do awards on the final day of the Tournament of Champions, and I don't hurt people's feelings and then they have to tell me that I'm wrong in front of everybody in a live broadcast. But then the winner of Tournament of Champions will also qualify. So 4 people from this year will go to the next Hobie Fishing Worlds. What is that? Is that 10 or are we qualifying for Hobie Fishing Worlds 10?
We're qualifying right now in the USA for number 11. There are other countries that are catching up on 10. We do have some kind of cool stuff coming up on when we're going to run it, but we've just got some travel issues. While some countries can fly, other countries like Australia, they're just grounded for a while, and we've just got to make it a fair playing field. But with that said, I can tell you right now that when we finally get released and travel international, it is going to be a very, very special event. We've got a lot of things up our sleeves, and we're looking forward to announcing some more information at hobbyworlds.com and also at Hobie Fishing Worldwide. We will see a lot of that information on these events.
And, as we kind of close out the handbook here, we are trying to broaden our reach. The Facebook has been really our only form of communication with you guys. And it's really helped grow our community. The kayak fishing community is so active on Facebook. That's still a great place. We've got Hobie Fishing, and then we've also got Hobie Bass Open Series group page. We've got our Instagram, and we're running things on YouTube again this year. And pretty much every video that we make is going to be organized and on our HobieBOS.com as well. So if you don't catch it or don't want to utilize some of our other options, you can catch us on our website, and we will make sure that all of those resources stay up to date for you guys. So finally, we have the folks that make it all happen. We've got a group of sponsors right now that we're very proud of, very happy to be working with. We're anchored by Power Pole. Far Wide presents our Angler of the Year. Bassin is our big bass sponsor. Lowrance is an amazing company, and we have been with us for a long time. check out some of their new stuff that they've got coming. Tacticam is a camera company that can help you capture your adventures on the water and share them or review them later. Powered by Dakota Lithium. Those guys are so great about lithium batteries and solutions and powering your kayak, your electronics. Folks that pre-fish with a trolling motor, they have the solution for you guys. Make sure you check out Dakota Lithium. Princeton Tech, they make the best headlamp out there. When you're on low light hours, make sure you check out Princeton Tech. Stoquist Waterwear, PFDs, dry suits, the things that you need to be protected and comfortable, legal and safe on the water. Check out Stoquist Waterwear. AFCO clothing, you guys know, we see it. I wear it all the time. Any season, any condition, AFCO clothing's got you taken care of. They've got some big things for us this year, and some exciting new things that they're going to help us. They've been a huge supporter of us. St. Croix rods, made here in the U.S., amazing rods, rod price point for every type of fisherman, freshwater, saltwater, that they've got it. Make sure you check out St. Croix rods. Flambeau, they've got the solutions for all of your tackle storage. They've got some awesome opportunities that really integrate well with kayaks. Check them out. Railblaza, they hold everything. Whatever you're mounting on your boat, Railblaza's got something for you. Hobie eyewear, so important to have the good glasses, sunglasses. They have expanded their offering and continue to showcase it through our series. And then Daiwa. Such great reels, and they've expanded their line into so many other things. Make sure you check Daiwa out, and they've got plenty of prizes that we're going to be distributing through the year. Marine Mat, it is such an awesome solution on your kayaks and other surfaces. It pads it, it keeps it cooler, it's easy to clean. Definitely a great product, and they've got some things coming as well. And Sunline is the only fluorocarbon that I use. They make an incredible line. Check them out. And, we've got a few more sponsors coming. I think we just finalized Engel Coolers today.
Yeah, that was about 4 o'clock. Yeah.
Keeping your drinks cold or hot, taking your stuff on the road. The cool thing about having such great sponsors that make great product is we get to give it to you guys all year. We're going to have product distributed at every single event through random draw. We're going to try to have that squared away on Friday nights. We'll work through that at Seminole, probably get more fine-tuned throughout the year, but we will essentially have numbers ready to go. It will already be randomly generated, and we're going to have prize winners. You're going to drive up for your check-in. You're going to know that you're a winner right then. You're going to take a product away right then. We're going to get a picture with you in your vehicle holding something awesome that you just won, and then you don't have to worry about it the rest of the weekend. So we'll be working through that, and that kind of takes us, from the handbook into exactly what we're talking about now. Lake Seminole. We are a week away from registration closing. Registration closes at the end of Wednesday night, so you pretty much have until 11:59 to sign up. If you have any questions through the sign up, I'm available to you. Make sure you're filling out your waiver, and if you have any questions with that, let us know. Please email us at the BOS@hobie.com if you have any questions on that. But that is a DocuSign document. You don't have to print that out. You don't have to bring that to us. You don't have to screen it and send it back to us. Once you've filled it out, you are going to be cleared and good to go, and we appreciate the time that you take on doing that for us. Then Seminole. So let's dive in. Pretty much, if you fished with us last year towards the second half of the season, we're going to be operating just like that for as long as we can see. That is our COVID safe protocol. Essentially, we're going to find an outdoor area at Seminole. It is the Earl May Boat Basin. It is the same complex that we held our event at last year. And so between 5 and 7, you're going to come to that area with your catch board, your metal only catch board, and you're going to drive through. You'll wait in line. What we'll do is we'll check your board. We'll check you off of our list, make sure everything's good. I will give you a specific sticker that will go on the bump of your catch board. Go ahead and take your stickers off from last year. Go ahead and take those things off. Whether it's ours, another group sticker, go ahead and start the year with a fresh board. I pretty much will not allow there to be more than 2 or 3 stickers on there. But I will have to cover up or take off any of our previous stickers. We will have a new sticker this year. So go ahead and take your stickers off. We'll start with a clean board. Make sure you clean where your numbers are too, so we can make sure we're seeing those clear when you turn your pictures in. You'll check your board. You'll get a sticker on it, and you will get a day one identifier that'll look just like last year's day one identifier. It'll have the event and the name right on it, and it'll give you a guide on the back. However, what we are going to do differently this year is, rather than passing out 2 of those exact style identifiers, we're going to have a more of a index card style, or a hard, thick paper identifier for day 2, because we will be announcing the code to get written into that that day 2 identifier, and that'll also be a backup identifier. So everybody will get 2 when they come in, and you'll have, if something happens to your identifier, reach out to me on day 1, and I will provide you with a unique code that you can use in that moment. And then that'll also be, the other one, the blank one, will be your day 2. So that's something we're trying to do to help kind of streamline the process. And writing in an identifier number on Saturday night, we will not have any meetings on Saturday night. We will just do live broadcasts recapping the event, and that's kind of that. And now, we normally do have things for sale at these events. Cash only is our preferred method, but we will be a little light on some Hobie BOS hats for the first event. We'll have a few, but due to some delays from our manufacturer, it looks like we'll be having hopefully hats by Watts Bar, and definitely it looks like Broken Bow. So I have a few hats, hopefully have a few catch boards. Now, we're only going to have a limited amount of catch boards this year. It isn't our goal to have these at every event. You have time to get boards. The reason we want to have boards at these events is in case an angler or 2 loses their board, or something happens, we want to make sure that we have the tools to have them taken care of through the event. So you still have time to get your board. If you need a place to ship it, for the event, let me know. We can try to work that out. But we've been all metal catch boards since early March of 2020. So order one, get one in. Don't rely on us to have one at the tournament, because once I only have about 5 left, I will not be selling those for the rest of the year. So those will be my backups that we will travel with, and I will have those to make sure that our anglers that prepared and had those boards available and had an accident happen can still enjoy our tournament and use the legal measuring device. Once you drive out of the meeting or the check-in, probably about 30 minutes after it ends, about 7:30, we will have a live broadcast that goes over our rules, goes over specifics for the event, and get you dialed in. One of the big things that we want to do this year, Steve's going to be on the water in a media boat. He's going to be trying to capture the moments and capture the event, but obviously we can't be with all of you guys. So there are going to be some anglers that are going to, be given, cameras throughout the year. Really appreciate Tacticam supplying those for us. We look forward to utilizing those. If you are using your own camera, we really, really appreciate your footage for us to use in any of our event recaps, our promo videos for future events, and really just showcasing what you all are doing on the water to a broader audience. That is one of our bigger goals this year, is to continue to increase exposure for our anglers and also increase our audience for our anglers and our sponsors, and just to utilize you guys and what you're already doing and show it to people. We want to improve that. We've got some things coming later in the year that we are working towards that's really going to step stuff up. But sharing your footage from the event with us and Steve is a big way to get you guys pushed out there and be a part of some of our hype videos and things moving forward. So we're not trying to showcase your stuff to the anglers that you're fishing against that day. But after the event, we really want to showcase what kayak fishing is and some of the special moments that you guys are having on the water. That's pretty much kind of the deal. Seminole was a really, really special event last year. As you saw in the hype video, we had our biggest limit so far. Now that got broke later in the year, and it could get broke again. Seminole can be a very special place in early February. Weather's been a little more consistent this year than it was last year. Water levels aren't as, aren't fluctuating as much as they did early last year. That's really going to have some things fired up. So we'll touch base on a couple things now. Jake Harshman is our reigning champion. I'm sure some of you all have heard a little bit about that. I know he's excited to get back down there, and I know a lot of people are excited to have their shot at him on that venue. And Josh Counts, he had our top limit with 101 and a half. Ended up coming in second. I know that's made him hungry as well. So there's a lot of things at stake here. Our first 3 qualified anglers and some really valuable Angler of the Year points. So that's definitely on the table. One of the other things I want to mention is our boundaries are published both on hobiebos.com and on the Tourney X page. But I've had a few people reach out about the Jowers Road ramp. That is the northernmost boundary launch on the Chattahoochee River. That is also called Gordon Boat Ramp. Gordon. So if you're looking on the Far Wide app and trying to understand how far up the river you're allowed to launch, it is listed as Gordon Boat Ramp, and it is on Jowers Road. So hopefully that clarifies that for some of you guys. And I will also update that in some of the literature so you guys are clear on that. Just so impressed with how well Far Wide really showcases most all of the public and legal launches. It doesn't have everything yet, but it does have probably 90% of what's out there, and it's a really great resource when you're traveling to an area you're not familiar with. Registration closes a week from today. There's plenty of opportunities to still get your lodging in and get registered. We're looking forward to having a great event for everybody that is fishing the KBF on the Kissimmee chain and the Invitational and all that. Good luck to you guys. But only a few of you are going to qualify for the 10. So everybody else, come on up, start a caravan, get quite a few days in on Lake Seminole, and go ahead and get your tournament season started off right with good events for both of the big entities that are getting started this upcoming weekend. Also, just a reminder, make sure you're getting your register or your hotels and lodging all squared away for our next events. Never too early to get that stuff lined out. Stay with us at the host hotel, the Staybridge Suites in Knoxville, Tennessee. Go ahead and get registered there before we lose that discount and that block of rooms. You have till February 12th to do that, and then Broken Bow's right around the corner. So I know we're talking about Seminole. We're excited about Seminole, but we get this season started hot and heavy with 3 events in 5 weeks. It is going to have Steve and I running ragged, but I don't think we'd have it any other way. Steve, do you have any closing remarks before we get out of here tonight?
No, it's been good other than the power outage in the local town I live in. It's also funny too, because with this particular app we're using, you have to give Facebook permission for us to see your name as a Facebook user. Otherwise, you take and you see comments like this, you don't know who's saying it. So I think it's a lot of fun in the background because you can make these anonymous quotes and things in the backside. I'm just having a laugh here of all the comments that are coming up. So please, by all means, next time you're going, just give us permission to use your name. And it turns up if you got like Mitch from Australia, it shows your name in your profile. And you just got to click the button and says do it. But some of the comments I can't post for a number of reasons, but it's very good. And I'll tell you what, AJ, I'm really, really excited that the season's getting started, and really happy to be involved, especially getting this website up and running for the single portal, and bring on Seminole. That's all I got to say.
We're excited too. Really looking forward to working with you this year. And but more important than that, I'm looking forward to see this one. Who is going to be hoisting this
number one?
Who's going to be our first champion of the year? Who's going to be hoisting the trophy? There's a lot at stake, and it gets started here in just a couple weeks on Lake Seminole in Bainbridge, Georgia. Just thanks to all of our sponsors. Make sure you check them out. If you're not familiar with those brands, support the brands that support this community. That's how it all works. And we appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate your support all year last year. And as we've got things going right now, this is the Hobie Bass Open Series anchored by Power Pole. This is our first BOS talk. And we can't wait to come back to you all season, showcasing our anglers and our amazing fisheries right here and on HobieBOS.com. Thank you all. See you soon.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to it.
When we put Lake Seminole and Bainbridge, Georgia on the map, I think everybody was really excited. And early season tournaments can be challenging, a lot of weather changing. This area has been decimated by a hurricane and a lot of obstacles in the water, changing the way the fishery sets up. But the anglers didn't care. They signed up early and often for this one, and we ended up having our biggest tournament to date. 445 fish so far and counting. We had our best one-day limit ever, 101.5 in the first hour. Lots of fish over 21, a tie for big bass at 22 3/4. The top 13 that are going to get paid today, they earned it. The re-anglers are qualified for our Tournament of Champions, and overall, I mean, we just had a good time. We had anglers fly out from California. People just wanted to be a part of this. And we couldn't thank the anglers enough for supporting what we're doing for them and showing out. It's been a lot of fun, and this is only the first of 9. So we look forward to seeing you all at all the rest of the tournaments and having a great 2020.